Devastating wildfires continue to rage across California. The U.S. military is now preparing to send 200 active duty soldiers to battle the fire zone and the blazes, now responsible for the deaths of 9 people. At least 18 fires are still burning in the state, with the Mendocino Fire now considered the second largest in California's history. It covers 425 square miles. Officials say it's only about 30% contained. Melissa.
President Trump weighing in on the wildfires, tweeting, "California wildfires are being magnified and made so much worse by the bad environmental laws, which aren't allowing massive amount of readily available water to be properly utilized. It is being diverted into the Pacific Ocean, must also tree clear to stop fire spreading." Here now to respond is California Congressman Tom McClintock. Sir, thanks for joining us. Do you agree with that statement? What's he talking about there?
Well, I'm not quite sure of the connection he's making between California's terrible water policy and the fires, but he is absolutely right about bad forest management. You know, all of that excess timber comes out of the forest one way or another. It's either carried out or it will burn out, but it comes out. We used to carry it out. We had thriving forests, we had thriving local economies, and we had a positive revenue stream to the federal government. But about 45 years ago, we began imposing laws that have made active forest management virtually impossible. We've consigned them to a policy of benign neglect. We've seen an 80% decline in timber harvested out of the federal lands and a concomitant increase in acreage destroyed by fire. I mean, put it bluntly, if I delivered 5 newspapers to your doorstep every day and you only threw one of them away, how long would it take for your home to become a fire trap? Yeah. That's the condition of the federal forest. We're only taking about 20% of the annual growth out of the forest. The rest is burning.
That's amazing. I think, you know, the connection to the water, it wasn't that long ago in California, you guys were having a big drought. And there was all this water being diverted out to the ocean. And one of the creatures it was supposed to be saving was this tiny delta smelt. And it was so, you know, it felt so ridiculous from afar, because this was water that was needed by farmers and all kinds and people. And it would just became a policy that was so outdated. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, again, that has decimated California agriculture. It is now putting water rationing into effect in one of the most water-rich regions of the country. Those are terrible policies. But the direct problem that we have with our fires right now is bad forest management. Now, if you have a pine tree with a 5-inch diameter trunk, that uses about 50 gallons of water every day. You have morbidly overgrown forests, and we now have about 4 times the timber density that the Sierra can support. When you have that kind of dense overcrowding, and then put a drought on top of that, you end up with dead forests, and that's what's happened to the Sierra Nevada.
I mean, isn't there a way to present to the public the idea that you're talking about? I mean, you could quantify it. How much is being spent on the fires, the lives lost, the damage done, the overgrowth, what could have been done, what that would have cost, and you know, how many trees are left in the forest in each scenario. Why isn't the case made to people and, you know, a thoughtful solution come upon?
Well, I think experience is starting to make that case for us. All those laws that I talked about were imposed in the 1970s with the promise that they would improve the forest environment. Well, fair enough. After 45 years of experience with these laws, I think we're entitled to ask, how is the forest environment doing? And the answer is absolutely damning. Yeah. These policies have not only not protected our forests, they've done irreparable harm to our forests, and we need to revisit those policies. And Congress is now beginning to do precisely that.
I hope so. I know people personally who've lost their homes, and it's just really devastating. Congressman, thank you for joining us. Important issue.